Hi, I'm Kat. Welcome to my channel. So today we have 3 books to read and they are all from Fairyloot Adult subscription. So we are doing a Fairyloot Adult video subscription video reading vlog. That was terrible, but basically, hi. I like to do this every 3 months when I have basically a few Fairyloot books in, and I like to just spend a week reading these books and seeing, do I actually think that I am spending my money wisely? And no, I really am not. I'm terrible with my money, but is the money I'm spending on Fairyloot actually worth it? And more importantly, are the books that I'm getting, are these books actually good? Are they good? Are they books that I like? Are they books that I think are, interesting, worth reading? So yeah, I do this every few months and, overall, my results have been incredibly mixed. I think for the most part, Fairyloot books are pretty good, but there's definitely some that are terrible. So we have today books from November, December, and January, and we will be reading them over this week. So, okay, I think I've explained that well enough, but let's actually look at what 3 books we'll be reading. So first off, we have The Hurricane Wars by Thea Gunzen. This is a very, very Raylo inspired book, and it is something about people. It's very Raylo inspired, it's in a fantasy world, and it is a romance between 2 people on opposing sides of a war. Then we have Faebound, where we're following 2 sisters, and I believe that one's a warrior, one's a scholar, and they are shunned or pushed out of the world that they live in and end up finding the Faebound, which was thought to have not existed, and go live with them. And then the last book is The City of Stardust, where there is a young woman who's trying to break this curse that's been on her family for years, and tries to, after her mother had gone to try and find a way to break this curse and has disappeared for 10 years, she decides to go try and find her mother and also find a way to potentially break it. So when I'm filming this intro, I've already read The Hurricane Wars. I read and vlogged this a while ago, and we'll be putting those clips in next. So I've already read this one and I liked it, but we'll hear more about it later. And then out of these 2, I really, really anticipate that I am going to enjoy Faebound. I think that this is going to be one that will be really, really good, mainly just because things I've heard about this author's other works sound really interesting, and a lot of people seem to enjoy her other releases. So I think that Faebound is really promising. City of Stardust, I am nervous about. Basically just the vibe I'm getting from it isn't something that I would normally pick up, so I'm really not sure how I will feel. Haven't heard anybody else review this one so far because it is pretty new release at the time that I'm recording this, so I haven't heard anybody talk about it, which, I haven't heard any good, haven't heard any bad, so it really could go either way. But yeah, we're going to insert some clips now, which were a few weeks ago when I was originally reading The Hurricane Wars, and we will follow my reading there, and then come back and start reading these other 2. So let us quickly start to discuss The Hurricane Wars, which I'm about halfway through, and we are going to finish this today. But hi, so welcome to an early morning, whatever this is. And my cats are being extremely needy right now, so this might be a little bit shorter than usual. But I'm halfway through, and I don't know if I really know what's happening in this book, but I also don't think I care. I think that I am very, very okay with just being a little confused and just enjoying the ride. So this is the most, not only Raylo coded, but most Star Wars coded book I feel like I've read in quite some time. So we are following the Night Empire and them trying to take over this entire continent and the one army that is standing in their way. So the Night Empire, you might have guessed it, they wield dark magic. And there used to be wielders who wielded light magic, but the Night Empire wiped them all out. Except there is one girl who has been found who has this power still. And she is now allied with this army that is opposing them. And they are like the last thing standing in their way from like conquering this entire continent. So there's a battle. Our Light Weaver is there. She is fighting. The heir to the Night Empire comes in. He is wielding his dark magic. They start to fight each other and they have a connection. I would say it is like 100% think The Force Awakens. Think the moment Kylo Ren and Rey looked at each other and they were like, oh, who is this person? That is exactly what happened. And this is now, the prince is tasked with killing her. That is what he should do. He's supposed to be killing and capturing this Light Weaver, but for some reason he can't. He is drawn to her. He is like ridiculously drawn and just wants to keep her alive. And I would say so far where I'm at, this is like not only the most Reylo coded book I think I've ever read, but the most like it is so ridiculously heavily inspired by Star Wars. Like you can see these direct parallels and it is not subtle at all. So I really don't know where the book is going from here. Like it's very much Star Wars in a magical world and I'm fine with that. There's like other things being hinted at, like this world is a bit larger. There's other things. There's like other kingdoms I think we're going to be exploring and stuff. I'm really curious to see where it goes. I just have no idea what's going to happen. But you know, I'm enjoying the ride. It is interesting. It's, you know, I'm a Star Wars fan girl, so I'm fine with this. But I am definitely going to finish this book today. I have like a little under halfway through it left. And yeah, definitely goal is to finish it today and I will check in with you later. So before talking about anything else with this book, I think I really just need a moment to appreciate how stunning this cover is. Like you have the dark magic, light magic, really works so well. And then like that meeting in the middle, because that is a plot point. Sprayed edges. And my personal favorite part is just this like naked hardback. So that's not too reflective, but I think this is so beautiful. And yeah, I really, really love this edition. And the book itself, I don't fully know what will be the best way to describe this, but it was kind of strange. It was a little strange. It was a little different. Not quite what I was expecting. And this is really not a problem at all. It just didn't quite go how I thought it would. And I do think I kind of enjoyed it more for that, because like I was saying in the previous update, this was so heavily Star Wars inspired that I was a little scared that it would go like directly following basically like for like the plot of the new Star Wars like series. I had a scare that this would be like Force Awakens in a fantasy world. And while it was like so heavily influenced, like ridiculously heavily influenced, it wasn't actually that. And it like definitely had a lot of direct parallels, a lot of very similar stuff. But I would say the primary focus was the characters. The characters were basically Reylo, Kylo Ren, and Rey. And it did end up going in a direction that I definitely thought was different. Like it got much more interesting in a lot of ways. And it did bring in a lot of other things that I really didn't think were going to, or like not even that I didn't think, that I didn't expect in any way. And it like brought this world in more interesting ways and just like really brought in a lot of interesting tropes also that I like. So all of that to say, like I actually really enjoyed this. I'm tentatively giving it a 4-star, which I do think is very, very high and probably higher than I actually do feel. But I'm kind of coming out of this on a high of just really, really, I don't know, feeling warm, fuzzy feelings, and I want to give it a higher rating. I think like it probably doesn't actually deserve a 4-star, but I'm still going to do it because there was a lot of plot points that I will say didn't really know what was happening, didn't fully follow it, didn't fully grasp what was going on, but I was just here for the vibes. And honestly, it worked. I can't deny that the vibes were great. So I'm not really upset at all about it. Definitely, I feel like I'm going to talk myself down to a 3-star, but like, yeah, writing probably wasn't the best. Plot, a little hard to follow, but I really like the vibes. So, you know, maybe instead of a 4-star, we're going to say 3.5. We're going to say 3.5, and I did enjoy it a lot. Is it the best book? No, but I am a really, really big Reylo stan. So, you know, for that reason alone, we're going to be enjoying this. So If you like Star Wars, you'll probably enjoy this. If not, there's probably not going to do anything for you, to be honest. So yeah, one book in, and we are off to a good start, which is always nice. And yeah, I'm feeling hopeful now. So I do think that Faebound, the next book I'll be reading, is definitely going to go well. Not so sure about the third one, but I'm having a very, very good feeling about the books in this video. So book number two is Faebound by Sarah Al-Arifi, and beautiful, gorgeous, gorgeous. I love this edition. I also just really, really like the colors in this one. Super pretty. So yeah, beautiful, beautiful. I'm just obsessed. But okay, so let's get a bit into the world of this one. We are following two elven sisters. So we are following two elven sisters, and in this world, I think there's 4 different elven tribes, and they are constantly fighting each other in what's called like the Forever War, because there is one resource that all of these different tribes are constantly fighting over, and also I think their source of magic, because they have to, their source magic, they have to kill these animals to be able to access it, and I think that's kind of played into this. So the mythology of the world says that there's 3 gods, and each of them gave birth to like a different type of creature. So the elves, obviously, then there were the humans and the fae. And through the history of this world, the humans were too fragile to survive for long, so the humans have been wiped out, and the fae also have been believed to be wiped out. So for like the last millennia, whatever, like hundreds, thousands of years, nobody has seen a human or a fae, and they just believe that it's only the elves who are left. So these 2 sisters that we're following in the elves, one of them is a prophet, kind of a prophet, but she's also like, she divines the future, maybe a diviner, and her sister is a general in the army. And following like a really embarrassing defeat, the general is basically exiled from her people, because it's either that or death, because like failure is not acceptable. So she's exiled, and her sister decides to come along with her just because she, you know, they're all each other have, and she won't leave her to be alone out there. And as they are traveling through the world, they are hunting this, they come across one of these creatures that the elves use for their magic. They're called, I think, oboes, something like that. And the elves use them, like they use their skin for these magical drums, they use their entrails to see the future, like all of their magic comes from these creatures. So they're following one of them, and Yurin, the general, sees this giant one, decides to kill it, and she thinks that if she kills it, she'll be able to bring it back to her tribe and like gain their respect again, or gain a place back within them. But she kills it, and then these fae warriors show up, and yes, they'd been believed to be dead all of this time. Nobody has any, like, they're basically mythical creatures at this point. And they tell her that because she killed this creature, she killed the prince who had his life bound to it. So all of these magical creatures are bound with fae, and killing one kills the fae who's associated with it. So all of this time, they have been constantly killing fae every time they try to use magic. And because she killed the prince, she is immediately taken like to the fae realm, to their dungeons, and is like consigned to death, basically. So her sister is also traveling with another soldier as well, who he felt really guilty about everything that happened, and also you can tell is kind of in love with this the diviner sister, and he's traveling with them. So they're all taken into the fae realms in their prisons. And yeah, that's really where I am right now. I'm just like about 100 pages in, and I don't really know where it's gonna go next, because the general has been basically consigned to death, and it sounds like we are basically going into her execution now. So I don't really know where this is gonna go and like what's gonna happen to stay that, but really interested to see, because I don't believe that one of the main characters will be dying like 100 pages into this, but super, super interested. And the fae have like such a different society, so many different things going on, and like really like they've never interacted with elves, but they know about them. The elves have never interacted with the fae, they know nothing about each other, and really, really interested. I'm like super, super curious about where it's going. And yeah, so far just having like the best feeling ever about this book, and I really like feel like it's gonna go fantastic for me. Do you want to go outside with me? Yeah. Let's go to the gym. that was a really, really rough workout today. It's Thursday, so it is back and triceps day. We have our workout schedule up on the fridge, but every day is like a different thing, and I'm alternating between weightlifting and running on days. So there's just like a lot every day. And today really, like I just went for it because I was really feeling it. But I can already tell I'm gonna be in so much pain later. But I do, I'm still wearing my gloves. I do have an update for you, and that is that I have finished Faebound. Yay. And I really like this one. I really had like I had a good feeling going into it that I would like this one. And yes, it really like succeeded and exceeded all of those expectations. So the entire book is essentially centered in the Fae realms, and we're following these elves who've gone there after like unintentionally or like ignorantly maybe like committing a crime and killing one of their princes. Really not their intention. They didn't even know elves, Fae existed, but one of these elves accidentally did, and because of that she is taken prisoner to the Fae realm and basically told that she's going to be killed for it. But obviously something happens and they decide they can't kill her, and then we're following her. Basically she now has access to Fae magic because of this thing that happens, and we're following her training kind of as a Fae warrior, but also like kind of falling for her trainer, who is like the crown princess and one of the generals in the army. So it was like really nice. It was really cute. Their romance was definitely, I'd say, not conventional in a sense that they were very intensely enemies to lovers, and really up until the point they got together, I didn't feel convinced that the Fae Fury was like even really that into our elf, but it was pretty good. It was pretty good. I like that a lot. I just like this like exploration of a new type of people, a new type of magic, them trying to coexist, them trying to like negotiate with them in a sense of a way that like maybe this is how our people can find peace in the future. Maybe this is how, if we work together on this thing, maybe like we can help break this curse that is keeping the Fae underground. Because I'm not sure if I said that, but the reason that nobody has seen a Fae in like thousands of years is because they have this curse on them that basically forces them to live underground in this underground realm, and they are trying to find a way to break it, to like go up and see the sun again and just be able to live in the world. But with that comes a possibility that if they go up, maybe that will start a war with the elves. So we're trying to navigate that, and the two sisters are trying to find a way to like broker that peace preemptively, so that, you know, if the Fae were to go up, that it wouldn't automatically mean a war. But yeah, I really enjoyed this. I think it left off on an interesting spot too, because there is supposed to be a second book, maybe 3. I don't know how many this series is going to be, but I am very interested, I have to say. And yeah, that's like a great feeling to come out of this, of like I'm really wanting more, and I really want to keep going. So yeah, super happy with this. I'm giving it a 4 stars, and yeah, I'm just thrilled. So another one done, a second 4-star in this video, which, hello, Fairyloot, you are killing it lately. And yeah, just one more book left to read. So this is actually over my lunch, and I have about 15 minutes left, so just enough time to eat, and maybe I'll be able to start on the next book. We'll see. But I should be able to come back tonight, maybe with some updates, or maybe I'll see you tomorrow. But either way, I'm really hoping to get this next book done quickly, because I think it's only 300 and something pages. And I did also do some poor planning because I want to get this video up tomorrow, so gotta read a lot tonight and then edit this. But yeah, I'm gonna go start it now, I guess. Me just trying to be healthy, making a bunch of salads. So this is like a salad bowl that I've been making quite a bit, where I'm just gonna take the lettuce out. So I have a bunch of lettuce, there's some garlic aioli, and then underneath I have sweet potatoes, chickpeas, and chicken. So I'm gonna microwave that part and just take the lettuce out. So So hi, about 140 pages into the City of Stardust, and this has really been different than what I initially expected. So the only things that we really had about the summary of this is that there's a curse on this family, there's a woman who's tormenting their family, and there's some kind of magical city. So this was all of the information basically that was on the cover, and that I don't know why I guess it's because of this, I was really thinking that this entire book would take place in some kind of magical world. So I was very pleasantly surprised to realize that it is more urban fantasy. And also, even though I know this is adult, for some reason, I thought it was following like a much younger character. So again, like very pleasantly surprised with that. But so things that are actually happening, and I'm really enjoying this, just by the way. So we are following this Everly family, and they have this curse on their family where every generation one member is basically selected by this immortal woman and taken away. And the way it's kind of described, it sounds like this person then dies. So we are following Violet, who is the only member of the current generation. She has two uncles who are raising her, and her mother had disappeared 10 years before, presumably going to try and find a way to break this curse. Or so either, we're not really sure, because her mother had been the person, the previous generation, who was selected to be taken away, and she disappeared before that could happen. So we're unsure if she's just been spending these years trying, like, on the run, or if she spent these years trying to break the curse. But because her mother wasn't selected, Violet has now been picked in her place, and she was told that when she's a child, she meets this mysterious woman, and she's given a 10-year timeline that when she is 22 or 24, whatever it is, that she will then be taken and brought to the City of Stardust. So she spent her entire life like really living in isolation, knowing nothing about this. But there comes a point, which is about a year before this deadline hits, where she starts to learn all this information about this mystical City of Stardust, which is essentially a city that is in another world. So there are scholars who are able to travel from our world to that world. They learn a bunch of magic, they learn all of these different things, and there's just a lot of magic that exists. And Penelope, this woman who has been coming to take the Everlys, she is seemingly one of their leaders. So she starts to learn all about this stuff and learns about this 1-year deadline that she has left. So she goes on the run and is starting to try and find her mother and starting to try and find information about potentially how to break this curse. So that's really where I am right now. I'm really liking it. It definitely has a much different vibe than I was thinking, and that is really good, because I originally kind of was going into this a little apprehensive, but really liking it so far. Characters are interesting, the world is just kind of whimsical, and we're just following her as she's trying to like solve some kind of mystery and find a way to break a curse. Yeah, overall very good feelings about this. Hello, I am officially done the City of Stardust, and just to say, first of all, I'm giving this a 4 star. It ended up being like very whimsical, very like, I don't know, very atmospheric, and I really like that in my books. Like, this is definitely not one where the plot was not anything extraordinary, the characters weren't that extraordinary either. Like, to be honest, like a lot of it was very okay, but the atmosphere and the like feelings of it was just all so like incredibly whimsical and perfect for me that like I'm bumping my rating up just for that, because I really liked being in this book. And also like a very good book for winter, because it does take place in this kind of like wintry world part of it. So very nice for this time of year as well. But the main plot of this book is that we are following Violet, who is trying to break this curse on her family, where basically one person from every generation is taken and disappears because of this mysterious woman named Penelope, who is basically the head of this other world. This other world has all of these different families from our world who go there and train as scholars, and there's different like magical things that they're able to do while there, but all of it is very mysterious, and it all kind of has like a little bit of a like cloak of mystery, but also like cloak of like a little bit of darkness perhaps underneath. Like there's just hints that things are not quite like as happy as everybody makes it seem, and that there's a few things that happen that just like, you know, really change things up, I guess, really like are something that messes with people as they go through this process of becoming a scholar. And through solving this mystery, Violet, and through trying to break this curse, Violet discovers all of these secrets about the world and really like changes the way a lot of things happen. But I really liked it. I just really thought that the vibes were fantastic, and yeah, it was really not at all what I was expecting, so that's always a happy thing. It is following characters in their 20s, but I would say that this definitely felt more YA in the writing, and there was really nothing about it that really made the book feel adult necessarily, but in this case wasn't really a detriment for me, which I feel good about. So with that, we're done. We have read all of the books that we need to for this video, and the most shocking ending ever is that all 4 of them were 4 stars. So first off, let's just say congratulations, Fairyloot. You are doing fantastic for me this year, or at least the last few months have been fantastic, which is surprising. If you've been keeping up at all in this series, like, this is not even remotely the case. Like, I tend to really struggle to, like, Fairyloot is definitely one of the better subscription boxes for me, like Fairyloot Adult, but still overall it's very hard to find this many books that are like highly rated, because I tend to do a significant amount of them at like 3 stars. So I'm thrilled, I'm happy, I am like very happy with how this went, and I'm feeling great after this video. I'm feeling great with Fairyloot. Very excited to keep going, because like also knowing some of the books that are coming out, can't wait. And yeah, stay tuned for probably another edition of this coming in the next few months. And yeah, let me know below if you've read any of those books. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.